What is your understanding when you look at the international discourse between nations right now, largely divided in two parts, some calling it Islamophobia and the others calling it Islamofascism?
Well, frankly, whatever vocabulary is being used in the world, I sincerely hope that India has always kept itself in its own unique position. We are a plural country. We have people of different religions living happily together. There are instances that are avoidable from time to time, but largely I believe that we are happy to be living together. Now, these countries that are experiencing new forms of pluralism in the world, they have made some human efforts to come to terms with cultural differences. But unfortunately, I guess the increasing stress in the world is beginning to tell on them, and therefore what we see is a very, very unfortunate situation. Nobody in the world can, no matter how justified the anger may be, nobody can justify and stand by violence, and that also of such a cruel nature as we have seen of late. And condemning it is undoubtedly every human being's responsibility. But having said that, it's not about dividing the world between civilizational clashes. It's about learning to live together. And I think India can play a very major role there, and we shouldn't therefore be seen as taking sides in what is in fact a completely unavoidable clash of civilizations forced by people who are unbecoming of their own religions and unbecoming of humanity.
Mr. Khurshid, India, and this is quite unprecedented, India has come out strongly against attacks on Macron. In fact, the exact words that have been used by the Ministry of External Affairs is that they call these personal attacks deplorable. How do you look at this move, this change in strategy by New Delhi?
Well, I just hope that the New Delhi position will remain a balanced one and not go fishing in troubled waters. As I've said very clearly, we have to take a humanistic position, and therefore taking a clear position against violence is a welcome step that India has taken. But I think that we need to know what happens after that, what is the path ahead, and to actually get involved in a bickering between what I call the civilizational gap, perceived or real, is something that India should be very careful about. We've always been seen as non-aligned in more ways than one, and I do hope that we will continue to be non-aligned, although very clearly in favor of peace, in favor of humanity, in favor of dignity and freedom of speech. I think that's completely unqualified. But beyond that, to fish in troubled waters might not be advisable.
No, Mr. Khurshid, is it your fear that India is going to fish in troubled waters?
Well, I have an overall view, and I believe a lot of my colleagues have that view, that we do things by starts and in impulsive manner on foreign policy, not as careful and steady as we used to be. Somebody might think steady and careful is a fault. Somebody might say that, but certainly that is something that we have been accustomed to, and it served us well. And that is the core of India's non-aligned movement. Non-aligned was not only about being with one country or being with another country. It was being autonomous in your decision making and choice.